Translate Audio, the startup thing that I made that I said I was going to talk about in the last video, which I am going to talk about now, well, it's dead. Sort of, at least. Let me explain. Translate Audio actually began around March-April of 2023 when me and a couple of friends were sitting down after a basketball session and just looking at my empty monitor with awkward air around us when one of them goes, I wish there was some life advice that would work for me. Maybe like a YouTube channel that offered life advice. And at that moment, I saw the purpose of my life. It was clear right then and there because I had been watching Healthy Gamer GG videos so much and feeling productive about myself. And this was the time to share it. Well, here you go. I think this is a good starting point and this is in English. What do you mean this is in English? हम हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं तो तू English content क्यों suggest कर रहा है? हिंदी बता कुछ. Honestly, that frustrated me a lot because this is modern society. So much has changed. Internet and technology and everything is inculcated into our lives. It just felt like there should have been a way to break these language barriers. Parallel to this, there was this Balenciaga meme that was going crazy on Twitter with Theo from Pink.gg wanted to make a similar meme. We eventually ended up making something like this, which was posted and it did well. And then it hit me. There was this service called 11 Labs, which allowed you to do dubbing, and there were services that allowed you to do transcription. And on Twitter I saw Levels post this particular tweet and oh my god, this was possible. This was majorly done using 11 Labs. That's gonna be important later, kids. The initial reason why I wanted to make something for my friend here was to give him the ability to watch Healthy Gamer GG and other informative content like learning how to code that were more on the informative side, since comedy and storytelling are very hard to translate word to word. And so with my small magnum opus, I began writing the code for it. And write the code I did. With 4 nights of constant coding, basketballing and caffeine, I ended up with an MVP that, well, it worked, but there were quite a few problems. For one, I made the entire application in a Next.js serverless and deployed it on Vercel. Now, if there are any techies watching this, I just want to say I'm really sorry. Basically, I was just being dumb, and I'm still dumb, but then I found out this fascinating thing called SST after a dense, bald, bearded man gave me a boss battle-like feeling on Twitch and grilled me for not being accurate with my tech understandings. He still bullies me in my DMs. After porting my backend from Next.js API calls to SST, it was actually ready for launch, and I could not believe a thing that was barely an idea was done within such a small time. But I got scared. I got so scared that for the next 20 days I did not launch my project because I was worried about having 0 users the day it would launch. In fact, I thought it would have 0 users forever. It's a thing with creators, call it self-doubt or last-minute panic or whatever you want. But during those days, I created this YouTube channel and started posting videos. In fact, the reason I stopped after this video is because Translate Audio gave me no time to work on YouTube videos. Finally, I launched Translate Audio. I bought a domain, I tweeted it out, and I had everything working on May the 30th. And after testing payments on Stripe, tweeting it a bit, I went back to sleep knowing tomorrow is going to be another boring day where I need to start working on the next idea because I would have no one using my service. Oh. This was when I learned that Levels.io on Twitter, by the way, love you if you're watching this video, had retweeted my product. I woke up with several notifications going haywire. I started getting really good DMs from people I never expected and getting noticed where I never thought I would be. In fact, I got offers to sell Translate Audio within the first few days for amounts that were enormous for me. It was a surreal experience, to be honest with you. So many people I follow and admire and look up to each day just showering compliments over something that I made. Me, holding no absolute value as a human being, feeling the dread of life through each day, now had a reason to smile. But it wasn't all happy and dandy. This part is a bit more personal. And everyone shares revenue numbers and MRR screenshots, which is amazing to see progress. But this, what I'm going to tell you, is the reason I wanted to make this into a video and not just a tweet. For myself not to go back to AWS and dashboards again and again, I had made a Telegram bot, so whenever a user would start their translation, it would tell me the status until it was done, just to make sure everyone's jobs were running normally. Every time this Telegram notification would pop up, I knew someone had paid money for my service, and it was just a notification, but in my head there were so many questions. Are they going to like their translations? What if you're defrauding people of money? You don't deserve feeling good about what you made. Why aren't you offering this for free, you greedy bastard. And no matter what I did, I could not shake this feeling away. I knew I cared about Translate Audio and I cared about making sure that everyone had a nice experience and the product was actually good, but every day it just got more and more tiring and exhausting knowing that someone somewhere might be unhappy with what I have made. And some people were unhappy. Not everyone is fond of AI, and it was very easy to take everything very personally. To make it more specific, day 3 I did $200 of revenue, and at this point I was starting to creep up on my previous job's salary, completely replacing ever having to look for a job. But that $200 also meant so many more notifications, and even when I had automated everything from failed translation emails to refunds to knowing what was going wrong, I was constantly checking Telegram notifications, the AWS dashboard. I got so obsessed with getting this weird anxiety every time someone used my service. Somewhere I wanted it all to just fade away, which, to no surprise, it eventually did. After running it for a couple of months on autopilot and only really putting in effort in the first 15 days, Translate Audio was launched as a feature itself by 11 Labs, the provider I was using for dubbing, which meant my margins were now zero, and at the least I have to pivot. And when it ended, I felt a bittersweet feeling of being disassociated with something I had been associated for a long time, but also knowing I could take a breather here and come back later. Now I know that was heavy, but I do feel that it was a needed experience for me. You might have done something different if you were in my shoes, and in hindsight I do feel like I did let go of something that was worthwhile, but I'm okay with that. I feel like entrepreneurship is hard and it's a difficult journey, and it's different for everyone. It's supposed to be rocky, and maybe I did self-sabotage myself. I did get scared for no reason, and it was not supposed to be this way, and I should have made more of that, but I'm fine with it. I learned something I could not have otherwise. This next phase of my life of not actually just gunning for a job and doing products and my own stuff is going to be like sailing chaotic high seas. Concluding this, for now Translate Audio has been turned down with only the landing page being up. I'll tweet out updates for whenever I find a new way to handle the translation part. So just self-plugging my Twitter. You can follow me here. Like I tweet a lot actually. Please follow me. I need validation, otherwise I slowly